Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition, a spot-on edition of the College Football Mafia presents Bombers Blitz. I'm a little, I'm a little nervy right now because I'm so excited that it is a fact. We have Ryder Lyons is now a BYU Cougar. I'm hoping everybody knows who Ryder is. If you don't, we're going to go through that a little bit. This show is going to be mostly based on feedback. I want to hear from you. I'm going to I'm going to send out the link. Anybody can join the show. We can talk about kind of what this commitment means. It is a big deal for BYU. And there's a few reasons for that. I know I'm not normally a newsbreaker. We're just going to talk about rapid reactions today. But this was a big enough deal. I wanted to make sure that I got it out as quickly as possible. And then other shows will be doing stuff later in the day. You'll probably have the next 36 hours will be Ryder Lyons left, Ryder Lyons right. I'm going to start with a couple things. First, I'm going to start with a promo video that was created by, and I'll make sure I get this right because he did a fantastic job, Jaden Adams. And I'm going to post that right now so everybody can see what it looks like and how it sounded and the excitement level. It sort of prefaces for how big of a deal this is for BYU. So let me bring this thing up. And I want everybody to see this. This is a fantastic. I don't know what he uses anymore. Jaden does for Flash or whatever it is, but this is a fantastic promo video. And I'm going to show everybody exactly what it is. I'm going to copy paste so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is where we're going to start the show off with this video. So I'm just going to make this big. And I'm going to let you guys get back and listen.
Ryder Lyons, five-star quarterback, is getting set for his visit to Provo.
Touchdown! Touchdown! And the Cougars! Can you believe that?
This is the place. This is the place for Ryder Lyons. I appreciate everybody who's joined. I know a lot of people are going to be watching that are normally College Football Mafia or Big 12 Mafia show fans. I appreciate you guys being here. I would say this is a huge win for the Big 12. Everybody knows I support the Big 12 through and through. BYU is a part of the Big 12. It's not the boss. It's not running the thing. But we are trying to represent. And in this case, BYU is trying to step up its recruiting game. To do that, bringing in Ryder Lyons is a massive win. And it just, I don't even really know how to go into more detail about what he is, except to show some of these breakdowns. For one thing, it was originally announced today on Pat McAfee. Let me make sure I show that. Pat McAfee show. This is a link from the Sports Center Next site that again says breaking news. Ryder Lyons has joined the BYU Cougar roster. So first of all, before I do anything else, I'm going to let you guys do some shout outs. I'm going to post the link right now. If you want to join the show and talk, I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear kind of what you would like to see for BYU coming next for recruiting and what you think those wins need to be. I'm going to post that link so you can join me anytime. Just click on that link and hop on here. And yeah, Clint Moses has got it right. It's BYU's first 5-star recruit since Ben. What is it? No, not Ben Johnson. Somebody remind me of Ben Olsen, who eventually went on a mission, came back, and ended up at UCLA of all places. So that recruiting win on paper was great. Jake Heaps, I believe he was a 5-star. He might have been a high 4-star. He came to BYU, and I think, to be honest, the coaching staff screwed up Jake Heaps' career. But this is one that I think is going to set itself apart. Ryder Lyons is a big deal. Let me bring up the 247 article on Ryder Lyons so we can get the actual stats. I don't want to make anything up. The stats mean a lot, and I think they should go. So here's the here is, and I will do shout outs for the people that are here. If you've joined and you're watching me on Twitter, feel free to leave comments, questions. This is a rapid reaction show based on a 5-star recruit to BYU. I care very much about BYU, so that's why this is the show. But I want everybody to know I'm here representing the Big 12 as well and advocating for success for the entire conference. All right, let's see here. So these are the details, right? These are the details that come from Ryder Lyons 247 page. Let me bring up that link so everybody gets credit. We don't take other people's work product without sharing it. Here's the link. I invite everybody to make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're on Twitter, consider jumping over to the College Football Mafia channel on YouTube. Give us a subscribe. That would really help us out. We take comments, questions, super chats. I read all super chats. So if you guys have questions that you want to make sure I get to and not just generally pull out of the comment section, make it a super chat. It helps us keep the lights on around here. We're not getting rich or anything on that money, but it does help us develop and continue to provide good content. Anyways, Ryder Lyons, Folsom, California, #1 quarterback out of the state of California. California, I believe, is number 1 or 2 or 3. I'm not sure what it is today of recruiting grounds. It's Texas, Florida, and California. So it's a pretty big deal. If we look at his stats, he's a big dude. He's a two-way player, meaning not two-way. He's a dual threat. He can run and throw. I don't know how it works with me trying to pull up some of his video. Maybe I'll do that on YouTube. But he's a fantastic quarterback. If you watch him in motion, he can throw on the move. He looks a lot like what's his name at Buffalo Bills. He's not quite as tall, but he's very rangy. And at BYU, he's going to make a huge difference. And we'll talk about the future of BYU in just a minute. Let's get through his details. Folsom, California. He's a class of 2026. However, he will be enrolling early at BYU and then going on a mission. So he's going to go on a mission, and from what I understand, it may be a service mission. I'm not exactly sure on the details. I don't get into the details on missions. If you have the faith and you want to go on and serve a mission with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I'm all for it. I also support players who don't go on missions. I go both ways. So anyway, I guess he's planning on doing that. So he's actually going to be a 2027 player. So his first year at BYU will be 2027. So how do we go from 2025, get through 2026 to get to 2027? Bachmeyer, who came in from Stanford, I think is supposed to be that bridge. I think he's supposed to come in and provide that leadership so that learns this year. Still don't know if Jake Retzlaff's going to play or not, but learn this year, go out and play and be the guy in 26. And then in 27, there will be a QB battle. I think Ryder Lyons is going to have every opportunity to come back and earn the starting job. I think that came with this commitment. Obviously, none of those things can be written down. If they are, they're pretty scary for BYU if you consider paying players and all these other things. But I think there was a word, and again, I'm only going on secondhand knowledge. We don't have details on his NIL or any of the package that BYU supported or provided to him. But one of the rumors and one of the differentiators I heard might have been guaranteed money, meaning Ryder, even if he gets hurt, gets paid. And you know what? I'm all for it. I completely support it. And every school that wants to compete for a national championship is going to have to come up with a winning strategy like that. For heaven's sakes, Boise State's doing it. If Boise State's doing it, every team in the Big 12 should be doing it. You have to be motivating your boosters to give you money to provide benefits like guaranteed money, whether a player gets hurt or not. I do think you tie it to money that maybe is paid back if they decide to leave. I think you can't put that in a contract. You have to make one outweigh the other to make it more attractive, though. Anyway, as more details come out about the contract, the one thing I would say is be wary of any massive NIL number you hear about. AJ Dubbanza, the other 5-star that we've got in the last 8-9 months, back to back, which that's a whole another story. Hopefully we'll get to in a little bit. Back to back, AJ Dubbanza and now Ryder Lyons. Not only did they reset the paradigm for BYU football and basketball, which it does. It tells the world not only are we back, not only are we going to be setting our standard every year, it's going to be 10 or 11 wins, but we're going to compete for championships, but we're going to make the financial commitments, and we're going to do what needs to be done off and on the court to service these athletes so they feel wanted and protected. AJ Dubbanza is going to play probably 8 months. He'll be gone, or sorry, whenever basketball season starts, October to May, and then AJ's gone. Football, it's harder to do that, right? You have to have a couple of years in, but Ryder is going to have every opportunity to come back off his mission and start day one. And if he's good as he looks on his tape, I think he can do that. Just to get to a few of the, and we'll do the highlight button here in just a second, but player rating, 247 has him at 98. National, he's the 13th national player. Sorry, rated number 13 in the entire nation. He's the number 4 QB in the entire nation. That just means there's 3 others in that top 13 that are deemed to be a little better than he is. But in the state of California, again, he's the number 1 recruit. Number 1 recruit. And then the composite rating, I don't know, 9901. Once you're over 98.5, 99, I think it just comes down to different skill levels and different talents. Left-handed, right-handed, statue, but gun arm or more mobile or more scat back type quarterback. That's where those ratings come in. Let me see if this will let me do this. And if the show all of a sudden shuts off because I get dinged for playing videos, I'll apologize now. So let's see here. Let's see if I can get a video. What is this? 118. Wonder if it'll let me do this if I don't make it big.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop 4th of July savings on Samsung appliances, like the all-in-one washer-dryer.
I can't do that. Sorry, maybe I'll have to find some. If anybody has the link to some of his videos that are on YouTube that don't have advertising around them, put it in the comment section and I will be happy to play those videos. I am afraid if I run these, that have branded stuff on them, it'll be tough. So if somebody wants to, Josh Allen, thank you, Joe. It was Josh Allen I was comparing him to. He's just not quite as big. But then again, he could become bigger, right? He could always grow, lift weights, do that whole thing. All right, so get to the rest of his details, and then we'll move on to, these are all the schools that we're trying to get him. And BYU and Oregon, we're told, and USC was, I guess, in there a little bit at the end, but it was BYU Oregon commit. And BYU has won some big recruitment battles now with Oregon. And I'll try to get to that in a little bit as well. Okay, so let's see here. So I already gave Jaden props for that. So I'm going to hop out and I'm going to find that other link. In the meantime, please put your comments and questions in the comments and questions section so I can start answering those. I'm going to do shout outs in just a second. There was one particular post that I wanted to bring up. Let's see here. I want to make sure I get the right one. No, that's not going to give it. It was a reply from this morning. And obviously BYU fans and boosters and posters have been all over this announcement. I'm going to try to do this. Oh, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to run it small. Hopefully this will work.
Next. You said you were blessed
All right.
multiple times.
Hopefully you can hear
Sounds
this.
like you have your head on straight, and it sounds like you are focused for the future. What does the future look like for you, Ryder? Where will you be playing football next?
I mean, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be going to Oregon and BYU University.
Okay.
There you go. That's as much as I'm going to play. I don't want to run the risk of doing anything else. If you weren't able to hear that, volume was a little low. Somebody was recording that on their phone. But basically, Pat McAfee goes on to say, congratulations, and I think you're going to be in a good place. So what do you guys have comments about that? Let's just get through comments before I start chasing down some of these other things. I'm going to rewind to the very top. Now's the time to put your comments and questions. I will answer those as much as I can. If there's questions, you have detail that you want to know about Ryder Lyons, I'm happy to bring those up as well. But I really want to get your feedback really quick. I'm going to invite again if you want to join the show and come on and just give me your comments and what you think this is and what it looks like for BYU. I encourage you to do that. Click that link, join the show, and we will talk. First of all, Jackson Johnson was the first one in the house. Good to have you here, Jackson. Welcome, College Football Mafia Nation. Jackson's a contributor and also a moderator. Appreciate you, Jackson, for being here. Joe Z says, what happened? I hope I've answered that. MBM checking in for Oklahoma State, who Oklahoma State's their recruiting numbers are coming up as well. I think the Big 12 is going to shock a lot of people this year. You could have 3 or 4 teams that are 8-1, 9-0 at the end of 9 or 10 weeks. I could see that happening. MBM says 5-star QB for BYU. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Joe Z gives us a couple emoticons. He was flirting with USC. Is absolutely true. He did. Jonathan Anderson, another member of the College Football Mafia family. Thanks for being here, Jonathan. Boom. Way to go, BYU. Yep. It's a big win for BYU and for the Big 12. Daniel Gygax, contributor and managing director, as it were, around here. Appreciate you, Daniel. Great to see you. Hi, everyone, he says. Daniel, you're obviously welcome to join the show for a few minutes if you want to do that. Be happy to talk with you. Being a West Virginia fan, I would really appreciate your opinion on how you think BYU's doing. MBM also says back to watching the Thunder Parade. Later, College Football Mafia. Yeah, congratulations. I'm sort of disenchanted with the NBA right now. I'm not a Utah Jazz fan. I'm a Seattle Supersonics fan. So it's kind of hard to be active in the NBA. But the NBA right now for me is hard to watch. This is not an NBA reaction show, so I'm not going to go into the details. But it's simply hard for me to watch the NBA. So congratulations to Oklahoma City for getting I believe their first championship in Oklahoma. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. Clint Moses says 5-star. First 5-star in 22 years. Yep, there's a fact. Kenneth Stromness, another member, College Football Mafia. Thank you very much, Kenneth, for being here. Gives us a wave. Good to have you. He also says if BYU peaks with him during the 2028-2029 seasons, that's good timing for the Big 12 and future media negotiations. Kenneth, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's a great segue. You are exactly right. So everybody knows my opinion on realignment. Everybody knows where I stand with the Big 12 in general and where it could be in several years. This next 5-6 years is a trial. The Big 12 is on trial. And the only question is, are schools that want to stay involved going to invest to be involved? Because by 2030, 31, if you haven't committed 1,000%, there is a very distinct possibility that a restructuring in college football will happen and your school could be left out. Conferences, who knows where they will be in 5 or 6 years. I'm not talking about conference realignment or Super League. I'm saying college football is going to look different. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that this is the time. If you're a booster or if you're married to a billionaire and you want money and you want your program to succeed, have them start writing checks. Now's the time to do it. If you wait till 27 and 28 and 29 to be relevant, it's too late. All right. So first that's going to join just for a few minutes now is Jackson Johnson. How we doing, Jackson?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing today on this fine summer day, Nathan?
I'm doing well. It's great to see you. I appreciate you joining me for a couple minutes.
Oh man, like this Ryder Lions commit to the BYU Cougars, this is a huge win for them. Like this is a much needed win on the recruiting show. And announcing it on the Pat McAfee show, none other less.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
actually, what do you make of that? You have AJ DeBanza did it on the Stephen A. Smith show. That was in November or December, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
How much weight do you give to the fact that these are happening in real time on national broadcasts at ESPN?
Oh man, I think it's huge for the BYU Cougars. I think this is a big win right there. Like I think like Kalani Sitake is thinking of the future. He's thinking of
Right.
2027, 2028, 2029. That's what he's thinking of right there. And I love it.
Is there any? Let me ask you this: since you're an SEC guy, you're a college football guy, but you're SEC born and bred. From a perception standpoint, where BYU was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, then there was a gap. There was a noticeable gap with independence and the latter end of the Mountain West Conference. So let's just say 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back in front of everybody, and the climb is back. Give us, as BYU fans, a look from a way far away, not even really having any axe to grind, perception level of BYU right now.
Well, you know, when looking at BYU in the 70s, 80s, you know, they were always known as the team that was in the Holiday Bowl every year.
But that's true. That's true, actually. Yes.
There you go.
Yep.
And, you know, 1990, they upset Miami. And, you know, 96, they were going 14-1, I believe.
Yeah, we got robbed. We should have been. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Keep going.
But, you know, like later on, you got Bronco Mendenhall in the 2000s. I mean, you don't quite get to BCS Bowl, but you are like contenders in the Mountain West. And you are doing very well as an independent from 2011, 2015, like especially that first game where it was like I remember watching where the first game of independence, BYU beats Ole Miss. That was a great game. I love that one.
Right, I'm sure. Yes.
and then, you know, Kalani Sitake takes over. Boom. Up, down, up, down.
Yep.
Big 12. Happy days are here again in Provo, Utah.
Now let's talk about the climb itself. You get now in basketball and football 2 5-star athletes.
Mm-hmm.
One is the number one recruit in all of college basketball. How long will it take, or how much repetition will it require for BYU to be back where it was in, say, 1986? How many years of doing this back to back will we have to do?
Oh, if you keep doing this, it'll just be like a 3-year timeline right there.
Okay.
Because like there's always somebody looking to leave. There's always somebody looking to, you know, see where the grass is greener.
That's right.
All you gotta do is keep everybody happy in Provo, Utah. Good to go.
I could not agree with you more. The last question I'll have for you is Ryder's going to be he's committed now, and then he's taking a year mission. So essentially, he's going to have about 4 months, and then he's going to go on this mission for a year. In that time, will the will the gloss have come off the rose at all if he's not around for that 1 year? In other words, what does BYU need to do to fill the gap of 25 and 26 before he can come back and play it down for him?
Make sure you got your quarterback situation prepared for 2025 and 2026. Make sure you got prepared for 2027 as well. Make sure you got your depth chart all set, ready, to go. Get your second, third, fourth, and fifth stringers ready.
I agree.
Yeah, because when you get overly reliant on one guy, it will bite you in the rear.
That's true. That's very, very true. And I think we have to be reasonable too as BYU fans, knowing that look, patience is a virtue, but presence is for college football, and that means what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And I really believe 2025 and 2026 without Ryder Lyons could paint the next 20 years.
Yeah. I'm ready to see what 2025 can bring for the Cougars. And once I get my Phil Steele magazine for Barnes & Noble,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
writing my little predictions already.
Yep, I totally agree with that. All right. Well, do you have any other comments or questions before I let you go?
That's about it. I think this is a great day for BYU Nation. June 24th, 2025 is a day that nobody's going to forget, and they shouldn't. You know, you should have like an anniversary day right there for.
Yeah, let's make it a national holiday. There you go.
There you go, man. There you go. Ryder Lyons up there with Steve Young, Jim McMahon, and all those other guys.
Totally agree with you. And I think he could be legendary. And I think, just so you know, I think that's one of the selling points is the 4 and 5 star recruits BYU is bringing in now. They're basically being told you can restart the legend. You can be a part of getting this engine going again.
Oh, yeah.
One more. Oh, I do have one more question for you. So we know BYU, we know Texas Tech are spending money. Being relevant in today's college football, those two schools for certain, 100% are all in with booster money, with trying to bring in transfers or new recruits. There's a 5-star quarterback going in at Houston. Don't know how that's going to work with the pieces around him. What is your perception now, post-Ryder Lyons, of the Big 12?
Well, I mean, you mentioned Texas Tech spending a lot of money on the recruiting trail and NIL.
Right.
Well, here's State, though. I got to see what they could do this year with all that money. Because, like, last season, it looked a little underwhelming. And I know, like, our good friend of ours, Joey Foster, was, like, bragging about Texas Tech. And I told, love you, Joey, but I disagree about Texas Tech. They're just overrated at the moment. I don't feel like they're a Big 12 title contender. These days, they're more known as a basketball school than they are known as a football school. And, if they want everybody to remember them as a football school, they better be getting 10-win seasons with all this money they're getting for the next at least 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It is a big deal that they're spending money in the transfer portal. They're trying to bring in the athletes. At the end of the day, it's win.
Oh yeah,
right.
And
challenge for a challenge for a conference championship.
Oh yeah, I mean Iowa State's not having a whole lot. They don't have Texas money. Look at them; they're doing all right with Matt Campbell, and dude looks like Adam Sandler. I tell you what.
You're telling me what?
Matt Campbell kind of looks like.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, Matt Campbell kind of looks like Adam Sandler.
There you go.
So I mean, like he's making magic with Iowa State, and they don't have all that Texas money.
Yes, you're right. You're right. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. Go ahead.
I think West Virginia is definitely a team to watch out for as well. Because I mean, I'm loving what Rich Rod's going to do with the place. I mean, especially Pat McAfee throwing his load of wealth into the university.
Right.
It's going to help them quite a lot.
Name recognition is what the Big 12 needs. Name recognition and win games.
That's all you need.
All right. Thanks, Jackson. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Nathan. You have an awesome day and stay away from this miserable heat.
I will. I'll do what I can. It's a little nicer here in Utah.
Well, it's miserable heat over here in Bama for sure. That's why I got the short sleeves on.
All right. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later, man.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right, I'm going to clap Jackson out because I still can't make the soundboard work that Moen sent me. I appreciate everybody joining. This is a rapid reaction show. I know a lot of people are watching on Twitter. good number on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, do me a favor, just search College Football Mafia on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Even bigger if you like what we're doing around here. Maybe not from this particular show, but the other shows we have in our library. Some of the most intelligent analysis you'll get of all of college athletics, legal, the House settlement, all those things. That is something that's sort of our expertise around here. And then, of course, we cover every conference and then all of college football and some college basketball, especially BYU wins. Anyway, let's do some more shout outs. I posted the link. Did I just post it? No, I didn't post it. Here's the link to join the show if you want to do what Jackson just did and come on for a couple minutes and talk about this with me. I'd love to talk to you. I'm a social guy, so hop on here and let's have a quick conversation about what you think this says, not only for BYU, for Big 12. That's a question for people that are watching that aren't BYU fans, but maybe you represent Iowa State. Is this a big deal for the Big 12 or not? How do you look at it? Obviously, it's competition, but it's also investment, isn't it? Anyway, hit that link I just said in the comment section and join me and let's talk about it. Let's see here. Let me get to some more. So we stopped with MBM, watching the Thunder Parade again. Congratulations, Oklahoma State, on their NBA championship. Clint Moses said that. Kenneth Stromness, let's see. Kenneth already said that. Almighty Finn checking in. Good to see you, Finn. At MBM, be grateful Halliburton didn't finish the game, but congrats anyways. There you go. Arizona State in the house. Almighty Finn, good to have you here, brother. Daniel Gygax checking in, representing West Virginia, the Big 12, and the College Football Mafia network. Daniel says, too bad I can't join you. I was going to say that it's great that BYU got a 5-star, especially when West Virginia beats them. There you go. West Virginia has to come to Provo, Daniel. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Clint Moses, NBA is hard to watch. One of the worst finals, in my opinion, since COVID, and Golden State with KD. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Jordan's not coming back, unfortunately. There are some exciting Ace. Is it Ace Bailey? The Ace kid, and then AJ DeBonson next year, and then the kid out of Duke this year. Maybe it'll make a big difference. I don't know. But thanks, Clint. It's great to see you. Replica, good to see you. Replica says, congrats, Bomber. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I take that. Thank you very much for being a member of the College Football Mafia family, Replica. I really appreciate it. Almighty Finn says, Clint Moses, best finals in decades, and Indianapolis is the 13th largest city in the U.S., so that's BS. We are not a small market. Okay. Opinions matter. Let's see here. Daniel Gygax says, 100% agree with you, Jackson. West Virginia will be really, really good. And then also says, I will be in Provo October 3rd for the game. Daniel, that is amazing. I was going to try to get tickets this year. It hasn't worked out the way I wanted to. So I won't probably be with you, but we can get together before. Let's have dinner. Let's do that again. I'd love to have you over. You can meet my family as well. I appreciate you. It was fun going to a basketball game with you this spring. Okay, so let me get to the next thing I wanted to show here. So this is just one of the commit pages. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can find it. Let me bring this down here so I can. I'll put in the full commit list. 247 BYU recruiting. Let's see here. The reason this matters is because BYU's had one of the best recruiting seasons than ever this year. One of the best. I'm going to show you 2026 right now. Okay, so Ryder Lyons is brand new at the top. First, let me get you. We always give credit where credit's due. If you want to look at the list yourselves, you can check it out right there, but I'm going to run through it now live. Okay. And I am not the story. So here, fresh, just done today, Ryder Lyons is committed 6'2.5", 220-pound quarterback, 5-star, 99, this composite 98, 99, I don't care about it. He's national, the 13th nationally rated player in the entire country, the number 4 QB and the number 1 in California. Brock Harris out of St. George, Utah, also a fantastic tight end recruit, 4-star. His catch radius is incredible, 6'6", 238, and he committed in April. Bought Mulatalo, I think I have that right, American Fork, just up the road from my house. Interior offensive lineman. I believe he can play both guard and tackle, but I'd have to get more detail on that. I don't want to, nobody quote me on that. He's the 92nd rated player in all of college football, 7 at his position, and he's number 3 in the state of Utah. Just to wrap that up for Brock, he's 67, 5, and 2. Then we go Terrence Saryan. Now, this is a recent recruit, I believe just in the last several weeks. Terrence, he's a 3-star, committed, just last month. And he's listed as an athlete, but I believe they're looking at him as a DB. 5'10", 160, but he evidently has an incredible quickness and first step to him that really sets him apart. We don't need to go through all these others in detail, but the numbers are pretty good. PJ Ty Getcha, I believe. Legend Glasgow out of Lehigh. He is amazing. Hopefully he stays as committed to BYU. Matthew Mason is a safety. He's another big guy in the back end, 6'3", 190 as a safety. So that would be a strong safety for sure. Stefania Alatini, another athlete, listed at he's a 3-star, 86. Antonio Johnson, a 3-star cornerback. That's one of the points of emphasis for BYU is the defensive backfield. You can tell from this recruiting list. And then one more I'll list is Parker Ord. He's a tight end, 6'4", 210, and he's just committed this after this last weekend, which is huge for BYU. So Ryder Lyons, this is where, and I think this is really important. This is where I think it's important for everybody to understand the pieces. And I said this on Twitter 3 years ago. I said for BYU, it was right after BYU was announced to the Big 12. And I said, this is what it's going to take. It's going to take, you can't flip the offense immediately. There's too much competition at the skill positions. So start on defense. They hired Jay Hill. And Jay Hill absolutely loves Provo. He loves having his family here. I hope he never leaves. But his defense is brilliant. And the defense is the easier thing to turn around if you can only recruit one side of the ball. So that's what he's done. He took the core that was the strong defense, and now he's made it much, much better. Last year, 15th nationally, something like that. So set up that core defense. I wasn't sure where it was going to be. I didn't know if it was going to be. Right now, it's defensive back and linebackers. I think what's going to surprise in 2025 is the defensive line improvement is going to be remarkable. And I think it's just going to go from strength to strength for BYU. But the offense is where all the flashing cash is, right? We all know that. The offense has done well, but Jake Retzlaff, he won a lot of games last year. He lost 4 in a row at the end of the season before, and I still continue to believe he makes a lot of unforced errors. The Arizona State pick at the end of the game under pressure, you can't do that in that spot. For instance, his decision-making, less than 68% completion percentage, not good. Best quarterbacks in college football are somewhere over 70. So the QB position is the one skill position they needed to improve, and it was going to be the hardest to do. No doubt about it, QB's hardest to come across. So they didn't get one the first year. Didn't get one. Well, I want to be very clear. We've recruited some good 3-star, and I believe we've got a couple transfer 4-star quarterbacks. But it hasn't been the guy out of high school, flash, all the buildup, draws all the attention, like today Ryder Lyons is. And that's what I said in that tweet. I was like, BYU, for BYU to be quote unquote back, you got to start winning double-digit games, and you have to get a 4 or 5-star flashy quarterback, preferably dual threat. Ty Detmer in today's football would not have the time he needs to do what he did. So how do you do that? Well, you have to spend a lot of time recruiting. You have to spend a lot of time building the culture up that people want to join. Kalani's done that. Kalani Sitake is one of the best coaches in all of college football. If you want to join me, come talk about Ryder Lyons and all this stuff. I will need to commit and post a different link. Just hit this link in the comment section. Join me. You don't have to do the camera or anything like that if you don't want to, although I love to see you. But click that link and join me and let's talk about it. This is a rapid reaction show. So they got the defense. They got good skills position players, but now they've got a quarterback. And this is how the quarterback's going to matter. And what I asked Jackson, and this is what I think you guys would like to talk about more, is great. You got him today. He's not going to play next year. He's going to be gone on a church mission, out passing the word, as it were, but not playing football. He's not going to he's not going to Gold's Gym. I don't think there's anything stopping him from doing push-ups or running, things like this, but he's not going to training camps, anything like that to get bigger. So he's going to be gone for 1 year. Can BYU take Ryder Lyons, the investment they've done in Ryder Lyons? You bought him, but you get a much bigger value, because in my opinion, that's what this is. That's what AJ DeBonsa is. You get them for what they are this second, but that's not why you're actually getting them. The reason you're getting them is to say, BYU's back. We're here to stay. We're going to do whatever it takes to stay committed. Full resources, facilities, coaching, invest in everything. And then we're going to go and get the best recruits. And that means if I recruit you today, when you go to play football in a year, you're not going to be embarrassed to have the suit on your back. Because the year that passes in front of you, the school has done well. And for BYU this year, 10 games is a minimum. And that's tough. That's extremely difficult. But it has to be 10 games, because I think the Big 12 winner is only maybe 2 losses. There's some good teams this year. So BYU can't go in and lose by a coin flip again for the championship game for the Big 12. We're not to 16 teams in the playoff yet, unfortunately. So those extra 4 slots for open positions, I don't care who you are, 5'11" Big 12 fans. BYU's not, or sorry, the Big 12 is probably not going to get a second team in unless you have 2 teams that are 11-1 and 10-2. That's so tough in a conference that's so competitive. So that's what BYU needs to do. They're taking the seeds. AJ DeBonsa, seed, bury it, water it. Ryder Lyons, seed, bury it, water it, give it fertilizer. And then say, this is what we are now. Now, every time they walk into a recruit's living room, they can say, well, check this 5-star, check this 5-star, check this 4-star. Yeah, you want to come be a part of this? Because right now, BYU is still that, it's got great history, but in new college football, pretty much everybody started over in 2021. That's why it's been tough for Utah. So 2021, everything sort of reset. So now everybody's climbing to be, and I'm going to say a number. I'm going to say 40 teams. Could be 36, could be 48, but 40 teams in general need to bring up their viewership numbers and their relevancy in advertising. Their pub, how people think about them. And to do that, you go out and you flash whatever it takes, cash, position, benefits, to athletes to come in and be part of your program, and then you lean into that recruiting. Forever forward. Now you can say, see, we do what it takes to get 5 stars in here, and we're going to do what it takes to win around you. You can be a part of that. Okay, I don't see any super chats yet, so I'm just going to keep going with regular comments. Feel free to keep going. This is a conversation today, and I'm going to go as long as you guys have good questions or want to be involved. Let's see here. So Hidden Hawaiian, good to have you here, Hidden Hawaiian. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for being a member of the College Football Mafia family. I hope you stick with us. If you are new, and I think you're newer, make sure you go in and after I'm done, go into our library and watch either our live shows or all of our membership videos that will get you caught up on everything college football. Realignment. That includes Pac-12, AAC, ACC, the House settlement, tampering rules, tortuous interference, all those legal things. Go to the consigliere page, or at least for the consigliere shows, and watch those. If you remember, I believe everybody can watch the consigliere shows. The smartest people in the world in college legal minds and agents are part of the consigliere team I have, and we've done shows and they answer questions on a lot of those things. Hidden Hawaiian says, got friends and family that are BYU fans. Good for you guys. Hope Cougs can be dominant brand for the Big 12. Thank you, Hidden Hawaiian. Again, I appreciate you very much. That's what I would say. And everybody knows, if Utah steals a 5-star recruit, I will cover it. I missed the Houston one. That one just went by me, but it wasn't on purpose. I didn't ignore it. That news, I think, got swallowed up by other things. But if you're a Big 12 fan, you're watching this show live after, and your school gets a 5-star, send me a note, and we'll talk about it. I'll spend 5-10 minutes on it talking about it if you guys care about it, because the Big 12 needs as many 5-star recruits as they can get. Rising tide rises all boats. Yes, I want BYU to be the best, but I want BYU to be the best among peers. I don't know why Baylor fans are upset. We took one of their players via an NIL deal. They could do the same thing, right? Every school should be doing whatever they can to go out and get players. I know it's extremely painful when you lose somebody. You're talking to a guy who's out of school that have lost recruits for decades, because people go against the church. They go against, the honor code, stuff like that. So BYU, Big 12, those are my priorities right now. And no Brett Yormark. It is not for the best of college football. That's a different show. I've done it a million times, but I think that's a huge mistake to have that attitude. Thank you, Hidden Hawaiian. It's great to see you. Almighty Finn again says, injuries part of the game. Oh, you're talking about the NBA. Clint says, maybe 20 times ever. Not sure what that's reference to. He's talking about, they're still talking about basketball. All right, we'll stop talking about basketball. So I don't have any of that. Right. Replica again says, Ryder Lyons is the type of player kids want to play with. That's going to help BYU in recruiting. More importantly, he plays with the flair the great ones have. Yep, you're right. He has that it factor. AJ DeBonsa has that it factor. Here's the link if you want to join the show and talk about this for a little bit with me. I'll talk about whatever you want to, questions, comments. Come on and tell me I'm absolutely wrong. If you're a Utah fan, come on and chew my head off for, getting the guy that nobody really wanted. I've seen that on Twitter today. But thank you, Replica. It's great to see you. I really appreciate you being here. Clint Moses, with AJ DeBanza, you don't want to end up like South Carolina basketball landed 5-star guard Gigi Jackson won a few more games, but nothing seismic followed. You could not be more right, Clint. You're exactly right. You have to follow through. Just winning the recruiting battle, that's the first step. Just the first step in a long staircase of success. Basketball's been proven. You can turn a program around in 2 years. You have a big checkbook, you can do it. Football, 105 players. You just can't do that. So you have to focus your energy somewhere. In my opinion, if I was building a school right now, if I was, well, not Boise State, because say I was Fresno State. If I was Fresno State, that's exactly what I would do, is I'd start on defense. It's the easiest thing to improve, in my opinion. Quickly. Almighty Finn again. Let's see. Replica, I've seen your takes, and FSU will be in the SEC. Kirby, don't have more pull than ESPN executive. Then you said SEC already in Florida, but SEC was already in Texas. But Texas got invite anyways. Almighty Finn, you and Replica can keep talking about this. I'm not going to get into Florida State realignment, ACC, any of that today. But of course, having both of you guys here conversing, I really appreciate both of you. BYU football checking in. Shonsky, good to see you, Shonsky. What do you think about this, brother? Got to be pretty happy. It's a huge win for BYU. And thank you very much for being a member of the College Football Mafia family, by the way. Shonsky also says, let's go. I'm not going to go the other way. Almighty Finn, one last time on FSU. FSU recruiting heading up. I don't think recruiting's been the problem, Finn. I don't think recruiting's been the problem at Florida State. They have 4- and 5-star athletes already. They're loaded. They just all of a sudden did not win. I don't know. What do you say? Finn says Seattle's getting the team back. I hope so. Almighty Finn again. BYU football. Hopefully FSU can get caught up in, get up off the canvas. I believe they will. Okay, Finn. All right, that's enough about Florida State. Okay, so went through the recruiting, and these recruiting numbers, by the way, I will say this. The page that I show you, and I can just bring it up again just really quick. In my opinion, by the way, today, the 2026 rank for BYU was 31. Before Ryder Lyons joined, it was in the 40s. So you can just see for the 2026 recruiting class, it went from 40-something at 8 a.m. this morning to 31 based on one player. Based on one player. Okay, so let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the fact that I think the recruiting rankings are broken in themselves. I think players that go from a perceived blue blood, Texas, and leave probably for playing time and go to a TCU, the recruiting rankings immediately drop. Sometimes 2-3 points. Just because they changed programs. So keeping that in mind, when you're looking at recruiting rankings in general, they should be sort of, cockeyed. Like, okay, I'll take it for what it is. But, that's something that we're going to have to kind of work on, because if the perception is that, if the perception is that the school that ends up receiving these players is less than, how do you think that affects the rankings? Right? Because recruiting rankings are all lumped in on some of these major metrics. To go back to the BCS, for instance, they put recruiting rankings on there. They have there's a plus minus for the conference you're in. So, again, being a Big 12 homer, being a BYU fan, that is why it is such a big deal to get somebody like Ryder Lyons, because it breaks the mold, right? It absolutely breaks the mold. It's not what everybody sort of expects. Because right now, it's really hard when everybody was staring at the number to then lower it just because he goes to BYU. If it's a high school player, it's almost impossible for them to do that. Where they hit you is always in the transfer portal players. Always. And it's always to the Big 12's detriment. I don't have the link. Jeff Fuller, JJ Fuller on Twitter has broken down how the RPI rankings work themselves and how recruiting is affected. And I think what I'll do is after the show, I'll look for that and I'll repost it on Twitter. It's a big deal because it affects every Big 12 school. All right, I'm going to post the link again. If you just joined the show, shoot. I hope that link works. I'll post it again. If you want to join the show, come on and give me your opinion for a couple minutes. I'd love to have it. Love to hear what you think about this whole thing. Let me back up and see where we're at now. BYU football, Shonsky says the players that are going to come with Ryder Lyons are going to be great. It's true. There was a huge recruiting weekend this last weekend. It was a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a lot of love came out of that. Ryder Lyons is supposed to be the tip of the iceberg for BYU's recruiting class. So we'll have to see. I don't know yet. It's a look and see type of a thing. Think it'll be BYU versus Texas Tech for the Big 12 title. Boy, I'd love that, obviously. Tech fans would love that. We'll see. BYU plays Texas Tech during the season if you don't follow either school. So it might be a little harder to get into the championship game against each other, but I would love to see it. I've always been a Tech fan. Growing up in Washington State, I've always liked Texas Tech. Never had anything against them. Finn says recruiting is definitely a problem. You're exactly right. Replica says 247 does that in high school recruiting as well. So he's saying even a high school recruit will get dropped if it goes from one school instead of one school to another. I didn't know that, Replica. It'll be interesting to see. I didn't do a screenshot of Ryder's stats before this. I probably should have. I wasn't thinking about it. Rats. I'll try to remember to do that in the future to see if the number changes. 99.01 is pretty good, I think. I'll bring it up here again so people can see it, know what we're talking about. Bring this down just really quick. Again, 99.01 composite. We'll have to see if that number changes. Right? 99.01. This 98 national and this idea that these are different, who's a fan of the recruiting ranks or recruiting people at all? I think it's kind of I don't want to use the word I was going to use. I think it's a manipulative. For one thing, they steal kids' thunder. Ryder Lyons could have done this announcement 5 days ago, chose to hold off. In the meantime, 247 and everybody else came along and said, it's like crystal ball, he's going to BYU. Kind of takes some of the shine off of it. Anyway, let's see here. Josie says correct. Dave's here. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you. Thanks for being a member of the College Football Mafia family. Correct. So they're all agreeing with each other. Sorry, hit the wrong one. Dave's here says, is he 27 or 28? That's funny. That's funny. He's in high school. He's in high school. He's not going to play at BYU till 2027, Dave. I get your joke, though. BYU football. Dan Lanning from Oregon is not liking BYU. BYU has taken 4 stars and now Ryder Lyons. Shonsky, if you can find the tweet, I don't have it queued up because this is rapid reaction, not rapid analysis. If you can find the tweet that shows the last 4 recruits BYU has stolen from Oregon. It was on Twitter either today or last night. If you can find that link, post it. I'll share it with everybody. The numbers are pretty remarkable. Offensive linemen, defensive players, and now a quarterback that they thought they had. In Ryder Lyons' defense, you're going to be gone for a year. Maybe if you go to Oregon, you don't go on a mission because you're worried about losing your spot. You come back, there's already 3 5-stars ahead of you that have been there in the program at least a year. Why would you do that? To sit on the bench? This kid wants to play in the NFL. You got to play games to be in the NFL. You can't do that from the bench. So, let's see here. Keep going. Replica, don't be surprised if Lyons loses a star before the cycle is over. It happened with Juju last year. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. Nothing would surprise me. What they can't take away is the fact that he did the reveal he did the Pat McAfee. How many times does that happen? That doesn't happen every day. So, can't take that from him. Hidden Hawaiian again, definitely broken. Look at UCF. They lost a high 3-star to Michigan State, and then they made him a 4-star. Yet it's against the entire Big 12, Hidden Hawaiian. Of the A4, the Big 12 is the one that they abuse the most. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Dave Sear says, is he going on a mission? Is that a 27 or 28? Come on. Come in. Okay. You can go on missions now when you're 18, Dave. And he's going to serve for 1 year. And he's going to come back at 19 and a half, 20. And then he plays 4 years. So the most he's ever going to be is 24. And I think if he continues to excel, he's going to leave when he's a junior. So he won't even be there then. He'll be a 22 or 23-year-old player going to the NFL draft. Knock on wood, if everything works right. Shonsky again. He's going on 1-year mission starting this January. He will be here for the 27 season. Yeah. Thank you. Hidden Hawaiian again. Also, 247 Sports favors a lot of quantity over quality, which can skew things. On 3 is good because you can compare rivals 247 directly on the site and average out the ranking. That's a good point. Let me go to On 3 Ryder Lyons. Let's see here. So Ryder Lyons here, 2026 class. They've got him as a 96.73, but it's true. I don't know what that rating represents. I don't use Rivals / On 3, so I can't completely explore this, but it would be interesting to kind of see all the things together. I just don't. You can see I don't have access. I'm not a subscriber. I need more super chats so I can become a subscriber for On 3, basically. This is interesting. On 3's added a valuation tab. That's something. Okay. Thank you, Hidden Hawaiian. Appreciate it. Dave is here again. I wonder if the kid on his mission going to Oregon doesn't change his mind. It's possible. Absolutely possible. He comes off his mission and leaves. I'm going to say that out loud. No BYU fans want to say that out loud. I'll say it. I also am knocking on wood. I believe in karma. I don't think that will happen, but there is a possibility that he goes on his mission and goes somewhere else when he returns. That is a possibility. In my opinion, even if that were to happen, the recruitment itself will increase the profile of the program enough to maybe make up the gap, especially if they're winning. In the next 2 years, if BYU goes to the CFP and wins the Big 12, either or of those two things, or both, recruiting will take care of itself. Because then the experiment will be proven to the world. Kalani Sitake plus NIL plus institutional support, plus benefits, whatever those benefits may be, and maybe they are guaranteed contracts, will bring people in. AJ DeBonsa is not a member of the church. When he goes to the NBA, it's going to be BYU this, BYU that. Igor Demon's going to get drafted tomorrow, probably in the top 15. It is going to be BYU this, BYU that. Kyle Van Noy. Everybody loves Kyle Van Noy. Still with the Baltimore Ravens. Still with, I believe, 3 Super Bowl rings. Check me. It could be 2, but I think it's 3. Kyle Van Noy is a massive advocate for BYU. Incredible. One of the best out there. So they get it. It is a longer story to tell, though. It takes a little bit longer to understand what the project has to look like. Let's see. I don't know where to. I'm going to post the link again. A lot of people have just joined. I'm not sure if somebody else just ended. I just had a huge bump in people watching. Click that link on Twitter or on YouTube in the comment section and join me. Rapid Reaction is supposed to be you guys talking, not me. I'm reading your questions and responding, but I want to hear from you. I'm begging you to join the show and come tell me I'm right, I'm wrong, I'm indifferent. Something like that. Already read that. Thank you very much for that comment. Dave's here. I wonder if the kid on his mission going to Oregon doesn't change his mind, but talked about that. Dave's here. Wasn't a joke. It was the year. Okay. Almighty Finn, isn't Texas Tech BYU spending big money this past offseason and Big 12 is wide open? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Multiple questions there. The answer to all of them is yes. Getting to the end and winning takes 12 games. We'll find out. But I would love it. Absolutely love it. For lots of reasons, but selfishly for the conference. I think the conference, let's project just a minute. BYU and Texas Tech make it to the Big 12 championship game. The world now knows not only are, especially BYU's back-to-back and now pretty much here to stay, Texas Tech saying, we want to be a big player. We invested in our staff, our resources, our facilities, and our players. And both BYU and Texas Tech get to the end to play for 1 or 2 spots in the college football playoff. What does that tell to the rest of college football? Yes, it'll talk about BYU. Yes, it'll talk about Texas Tech. But what's it going to do for the profile of the Big 12? It will go up massive. It will blow up the entire conference. Because then strength of schedule changes. Then you'll get Josh Pate a little bit more kudos than he's been giving us in the last couple of years. The Big 12 will be better. And I'm here to say that means any Big 12 team come out, follow this formula, and then win. And the new playoff format is being negotiated now. They might put it off a year. December 1st is when it's supposed to be done for 2026. They can change the rules and say we want to do it later. But if the Big 12 goes into December with 3 teams that are 11-1 or 10-2 and 11-1, and all 3 of them have good enough schedules that they're going to get promoted to the college football playoff. Now, I think that's a bit of a stretch. Even, well, if 2 11-1 teams play, I think probably both teams make it in after the championship game. BYU lost out 10-2 last year, and they had beat SMU, who went on and absolutely got worked in the playoff. And that would not have had BYU might not have won the game, but they certainly would not have been run off the field. Their defense was extremely good. So I am praying the entire Big 12 tries to copy what BYU and Texas Tech does. BYU football says, I know McKay Madsen, 4-star athlete. I know it's one of them. He's one of them. Yeah, was it McKay that posted it? Maybe Ben Criddle, Shonsky? If you could look on Twitter and find that, I'd take it as a personal favor. Dave's here. Be rude of me to come in and make a joke about religion. I do that some other place. I appreciate that, Dave. I've got a pretty thick skin. I know how people look at my faith and faith in general. I generally don't talk about it unless it's in this regard, a kid's mission or something like that. I'll talk about it. But yeah, we're not here to talk about church. We're talking about individual faith. You can't do anything about that. Almighty Finn says he's 2 minutes behind. Oh, Dave's here. Thank you for correcting me, Dave. You kept saying 27-28. I apologize. I misunderstood what you were saying. Yes, 2027, 2028. That's right. If he comes back ready to play, he'd be a sophomore at the end of 28. But maybe because he's classified as a 26 and I don't know if you can go on a mission and be registered in school. I don't think you can do that, unfortunately. So we can't count that as a year to get into the NFL early. But 27 and 28 would be his years to shine for sure. Replica again. All of the recruiting services have been monopolized by Shannon Terry, the On3 owner. He's been involved in the creation success of 247 On3 Rivals and Scout, which was one of the first recruiting sites. Very cool. I didn't know that. Thank you, Replica. Dave's here. Jesus, he is being defensive. I was talking about BYU getting that really fast wide receiver that is on a mission right now. I tell you what, our skill position players are pretty dang good. The last 2 years, what we've needed is a quarterback that is a little better than above average. And we haven't had it. And went 5-7 and 11-2. This year has to turn around. And I don't know who that QB is going to be, unfortunately. The 98 is 247 Sports Composite is all four rankings together, 247 On3 Rivals and ESPN. Thank you very much, Shonsky, for clearing that up. So if I go back here to Ryder Lyons and I look, let's just do that again because I want to make sure everybody knows what we're talking about. I'm big on context. So this is what you're saying, and it totally makes sense. I thought the composite was composite of their own numbers. It's nice to see it's actually of the others. So they have them rated 98, but the composite of the others, the other groups that we've been speaking about, actually has them at 99. So for some reason, 247 has them a little bit less than the average. Whatever. It all comes down to winning games. I don't care what your recruiting number is. Replica, correct. That's why I find it funny when people criticize On3. It's like, dude, it's all owned by the same people. On3 puts on sites together and average it. That is interesting. I did not know that. This recruit is one of the reasons I'm for 5'11". Okay, Shonsky. More power to you. I'm not gonna debate the CFP format this morning. Hidden Hawaiian. Most people don't know that fact that all the recruiting things are together. The way On3 market kids on social media has brought a lot of new people to the recruiting world. Okay. All right. So now we're in 15 minutes. I think, I don't think, no super chat. So I haven't missed anybody. I just want to recap. Obviously, we can continue this conversation on Twitter, everything else. But people keep joining. So one last time, I'm going to invite anybody to join the show. I didn't come on just to talk. I'll be perfectly honest. I was hoping for more feedback. I know part of the reason is people are scared. They don't want to be seen. If you click the link, it'll open on your phone or on your computer. You don't have to turn on your camera and just join. And I'd love to have a conversation about this thing. I wish our phone line thing isn't working, but I'm an idiot and still I have not been able to get it to work. So I'm going to run this Ryder Lyons recruitment video again, or basically announcement video that was done. Let's see, let me shrink it down one last time. It was actually created by Jaden Adams, who I've talked to on Twitter. Great guy, very creative. Probably should be doing this for a living. This is the link to this Twitter announcement he made actually a couple of years ago. It's not an announcement as much as it is we want Ryder Lyons to BYU, but just check this out, and then we'll do a last rundown on who's in. Oh, wait, I apologize. Helps when I share the screen. Sorry, guys. There we go. Let's go big. All right, here we go.
Ryder Lyons, 5-star quarterback, is getting set for his visit to Provo.
Touchdown! Touchdown! And the Cougars, can you believe that?
Boy, oh boy, it's fantastic. It's great to see. I'm super excited that he's coming to BYU. It's just one of these situations where BYU's been on the climb back. I am willing to say that out loud. BYU's needed a flash, something to make a difference. I think Ryder Lyons might be the guy. I really do. I think we may have, and all I'm doing while I'm talking is I'm just looking to see if there was another post that I missed. Actually, see if I can do this. So this is BYU TV.
Oh my gosh.
I will probably get dinged. I'm going to take a chance. This has been a long time. I'm going to run this. Hopefully YouTube doesn't ding me. It's a great possibility the stream will end. And if that's the case, just know that I appreciate every one of you. This announcement video from BYU Sports, it's basically the school saying, this is what we represent. I am going to play it. I'll leave it small. And let's just keep our fingers crossed. Here's the link to it. So you can watch it yourselves as well. Really quick, let me just get to any last comments I have on here. I will continue. If you guys want to join the show, all of a sudden I've got 300 people watching all of a sudden. So I'm going to post the link again on here. If you're on X, great. What I would really beg before I do this and possibly get X'd by YouTube is please subscribe to my channel, College Football Mafia Network. It's huge on YouTube. We're growing. We're near 5,000 subs. I've almost got 9,000 followers on Twitter. We are building something to be around a long time. My team, Wild Butte, Moen, Daniel Gygax, Becky Go Huskies, Sergeant Pickles, Fergie, let's see, 505 Pronto, Premoto, sorry, 505 Premoto, all of the consigliere lawyers that we have. My team is the best, in my opinion, and we're built to stay. We're not going away. We're not going to disappear just because a lot of other people are doing this now that weren't before when we started. But this is why we do it. It's to cover stories like this. Today it's BYU and the Big 12. Tomorrow it could be the ACC and a big news item. I'm going to try to do more of these reaction shows to stay in front of you guys as much as possible. UCF Island, good to see you, man. You should be working, right? You must be at lunch. Let's go. Congrats, Bomber. Thank you. BYU football says BYU offered Ryder Lyons when he was a freshman. Actually, if you listen on McAfee, he was in 8th grade, Shonsky. He said on McAfee he was in 8th grade when he got his first letter, and it was from BYU, by the way. And then Replica says, I would jump on, but I'm between meetings. Okay, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. All right, so let's watch this video, and then I will come back and continue to answer questions. I'm going to leave it small. I did post a link to it on BYU Sports Nation. Let's just see. If I get shut down, I appreciate everybody here, and we will talk soon. Okay, I am previewing consigliere showing, trying to get on transfer portal, NIL, tortuous interference, civic responsibility or something like that. And I am trying to throw that show together. I will say this: it has been difficult to get that legal show together because all of these lawyers and agents are super busy taking care of players trying to get their contracts before July 1st. So I'm not going to apologize if for whatever reason I have to put that show off, but I'm hoping to do it either tomorrow or Thursday. Okay. This is from BYU Sports Nation.
Oh my gosh, this is the place. Brigham Young was right. He meant it about Salt Lake City and showing up in the Valley there. Added context, this is the place, BYU. What they're doing now with A.J. DeBonsa and now this kid on Pat McAfee.
Okay, I'm going to pause it. We'll keep it going.
Let's talk about this 26 class a little more. So I have this guy as the 3rd highest ranked recruit via 24/7 Sports ever. A certain tight end
at BYU.
Was also at BYU. At BYU, thank you.
Pause. So that he's breaking down all the recruits for 2026.
A certain tight end from St. George is committed. He is 4th on this list, now 5th. And then Alai Kalani Uvalu is 8th. And then, there's another member of the class, an offensive tackle, who is 12th. So you're talking about 4 of the top 13 kind of in the last couple months here committed. It feels like what Kevin Young is doing with men's hoops. Football is rising to that level. This is the A.J. DeBonsa for football.
Okay. So he stole my line. I don't think I made it up. But Jerem Jordan right there was talking. Again, BYU Sports Nation. I posted the link. He's saying exactly what I was just saying myself. That A.J. DeBonsa's recruiting for basketball. Ryder Lions in football. It breaks the mold. We are no longer talking about the Mountain West WAC independent era BYU. Which, by the way, 70s, 80s, and up through the mid-90s, BYU was in the top 25 in the country in relevance for almost 30 years. Not quite 30 years, 27 years. Then we had a break. No other way to put it. Had a break. Independence was not great, but it also didn't kill the program. But now we're back. And I say this, and I'm proud to say it now. We are a proud contributing member of the Big 12. BYU is a cornerstone, I would say. I say we're one of many peers that are doing what they can to promote the Big 12 conference, bring it up. And then talking about BYU itself, BYU has completely changed the paradigm on their recruiting. Basketball, they've got a guy who's going to be there a while. He's turned down multiple NBA head coaching jobs. Most recently, Phoenix, this last offseason. Or not even offseason, just started offseason. He's already turned that job down twice. It's just going from strength to strength. And what I would say to the rest of the Big 12 is just lean into that. I'm going to ask a question, and you guys put this in your comments, and I am going to go off on just one thing since we're here. The idea that you scream and yell and bitch and moan because your school isn't keeping up in recruiting. Tell me which is more real. You're losing because you don't have the resources that you think you need, or other people are just being mean and stealing your players just for the hell of it because they can. Which seems more real? Is it take responsibility and try to improve yourself, or is it to be defensive and do lawsuits after lawsuits and tampering this and torturous interference that? Look, everybody knows I'm a Pac-12 guy, right? Grew up in Pac-12 country. Love Washington State and Washington. The old Pac-10 was a fantastic conference. The Pac-12 has screwed up the last 4 years in realignment on multiple occasions because they make the wrong choices. And one of the choices that they're taking right now, they're pursuing this idea of getting their autonomous rating back. Look, that ain't happening. And I've explained 1,000 times why in the last 2+ years. They're not getting it back because they're not giving it back. In fact, what they're going to do is they're going to try to shrink the pie even more. The narrative already is the ACC or the Big 12. There's only room for one. And it could go either way. I see a lot of signs why the Big 12 survives. I can see a lot of ways the ACC could remake itself. But it's not adding another power conference, because that just spreads out the greater wealth. So, Pac-12 people know me. They know where my heart is. I'm just talking about from a facts perspective. The same thing goes for suing people over recruiting. If you lose a recruiting battle, in my opinion, you could fight to try to keep the player, but I think player movement is done. They can go wherever they want to, pretty much wherever they want. What you're suing for is damages, essentially. You sign a contract, they break the contract, there should be a penalty. And I'm okay with that. Fine, write a check. But doing the third step, trying to punish or ask for punishment on schools within your own conference, let alone all of college football, it's a wasted use of resources. It's dumb. Even if you win, you lose. Even if you win, you lose. This is Bomber Rant. I think somewhere in here we got Bomber Rant, right? No, we don't. Not on this profile. Even if you win, you lose. Even if Wisconsin wins, in my opinion, they're going to lose. Because the player's gone. You win money. You win maybe, a moral victory at Wisconsin. But the player's gone, and you can't get him back. That's not going to happen. Once a kid transfers, they're gone. Whether he plays is a different question, but once they transfer, they're out of there. They're leaving, and probably have already left. So is it worth the legal fight? Is it worth filing? Is it worth chasing a little bit of payment? Well, sure. If you were paid $250,000 to do 5 things and you only do 2 things, sure, sue to get that money back, or just ask for the money back. There's legal recourse to get just money. But to charge these other things, these loaded terms for realignment and everything else, for the A4, for the Power 5, the Q6, whatever it is, and it just, even if you win, you lose. And it all starts here. It all starts with recruiting. It all starts with what you have done lately for your program. So I guess this is my final word, because I only have a couple other comments. I'll post the link to join me one last time. You want to come on, click that link and we'll talk. If not, that's cool. I didn't anticipate talking this much. I thought people would want to talk more, but I understand completely. Shonsky says, I know one thing, the Big Ten and SEC hate what Texas Tech and BYU are doing in recruiting and the portal. I think they hate it, but I think, Shonsky, there is a new level of respect, especially from Oregon. I think Oregon now knows BYU is here to play, because BYU has lost and won recruits back from the University of Oregon Ducks. And they respect it, because that's how they built their program, with funding, with money, resources. So yeah, they might hate it. I doubt they're jealous, maybe mad, but I think it comes with respect. I really do. Texas Tech has to win. Texas Tech has to win. Hasn't won 10 games in a long time, too long. Texas Tech needs to come in and win a championship, get to the playoffs. Has to do it to turn their thing around. Otherwise, they'll keep saying they're kind of like Texas A&M. Texas Tech needs to not be Texas A&M. All the money in the world can't get to a playoff game. Can't win a championship. So you just got to get by that. Competition is always healthy. That's true. Why didn't the Pac-12 take UNLV? They screwed that up. This isn't a Pac-12 show, but at the end of the day, they just screwed it up. They were trying to get schools, Tulane, Memphis specifically, maybe University of South Florida, maybe a Texas school, but they were trying to get these schools to join. UNLV, I think, was high on that list, but before they could pull off the coup, and I don't think they offered enough upfront money. They were being a bit greedy, in my opinion. The 30 of what is it? 30 on 30, 30 of 30 on ESPN is that's going to cover the Pac-12. That episode's going to be there's going to be like 8 episodes in that series. One of those episodes is going to become showing the Pac-12 screwed up when they brought in the Mountain West schools. It should have been Mountain West 6, not Mountain West 5, and they should have bribed heavily UNLV to come. Not because they're a great program today, but because of you have to go with potential and also money and resources. And they screwed that up the minute they gave the Mountain West a chance to take a breath. Mountain West did the only thing they could do is throw money at Air Force, throw money at UNLV to not leave. It's a lot of money, $20 million, $18 million for a program that is way in the hole. So the plan was to take UNLV. They screwed up. That's my final answer, Finn. Last thing I'm trying to get on, but I'm an eye doctor. I'm at the eye doctor. Oh, okay. That's okay, Finn. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who's watching. You guys have been fun. I hope this has been entertaining. I try to entertain. Bottom line is Ryder Lyons to Brigham Young University. First 5-star recruit in here's one from Terrell Williams, who I'm a fan of. Does recruiting pretty well. This is sort of the definitive post of Ryder Lyons joining. I'm going to bring it up so everybody can see it because I think it's a good one. I think as big as I can get it, in fact. Let's see here. There we go. So Terrell Williams already posted that link. It's no problem, BYU. It's no problem, Shonsky. I understand. Terrell Williams says BYU landing 5-star QB Ryder Lyons will have a seismic impact on the football program for years to come. He was recruited by every major blue blood in America, but he chose the Cougars in the end. He believes BYU is building a national title contender, and we're being serious, BYU fans, when we're talking about that. He will be a magnet for elite offensive talent to come join him in Provo. This is a major inflection point in the history of BYU football and major catalyst to propel us into national prominence. And I would add, not propel us into, I would say return us to national prominence. So I would change the wording on the end of that. But that is the bottom line is BYU has to leverage this recruit and bring in other players to play around him and then win games. And I don't imagine I'm going to have another 5-star show for BYU this year. But I'm again saying if a Big 12 team gets a 5-star player, send me a note and I'll get on with you. And we can talk about them specifically. Oh my God, Finn is able to join.
I'm at the eye doctor. I'm at the eye doctor right now, so I can't stay long. I just want to say I love your show. You are one of my favorite. You Greg Moen, Tel Moen. Big Ten's not gonna do nothing. Nah, I'm just playing. I just wanted to get on here. Look, I'm in Bloomington, Indiana at an IU facility with my Illinois on. I'm a troll.
That is awesome. Don't get punched.
No, that's not gonna happen. You ain't got to worry about that. That's not gonna happen. I just wanted to get on here and tell you I love your show.
Thank you, Finn. I love you, and you have been around so long. We call you OG at this point. So we're gonna have to get you some gear. I can if you'll.
Hey,
are you on Twitter?
Hey, if you ever come to Indianapolis, like I told Moen, we gotta hang out. You know you're gonna need your haircut because you know I cut hair, so you know you're gonna need your haircut.
I'll let you give me a shave. How about that?
I can do that. I just want to say, Texas Tech. Oh, well, the doctor's back. Doctor, say hi to the
Peace
football
out.
people in the world,
Hi.
college football mafia. Best eye doctor in all of the Midwest.
I appreciate that. Well, good luck.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, Finn.
Oh, no, they got me. They taking care of me.
That's good. That's good. We'll talk to you soon.
I don't know how to turn this on.
Almighty Finn representing. I appreciate you, Finn. We do work around here, so hopefully people understand. I am not really. I'm not here for me. Honestly, I'm here for you guys and your feedback. So I appreciate everybody that's watching. We've been right around 300 people watching live in the middle of the day. I think that's pretty good. I will say that I do have 2 shows coming up. They might both be recordings. One of them is going to be with Fergie, and we're going to talk about financing for athletics and how it works. He's got a lot of data that we're going to go through. We do a lot of data around here, except for when we do rants every once in a while, like today. And then I've got the Consigliere show I'm still working on. I did hope to have that done this week. As I said, these guys are extremely busy, so it's been difficult to get them. So I'll keep working on that. I'm efforting on that end, but we'll get a show thrown together where you guys can ask your questions about tortuous interference and NIL and paying players and all that stuff. It'll be a fun show. It'll be entertaining, but most importantly, it'll be informative from the experts, not somebody like me. So I thank you all for being here with us. Again, one last time, BYU picks up Ryder Lyons 5-star QB, best QB in California, 4th best QB in the country. And I hope that that gives a cheer up for everybody else in the Big 12. While it's competition, you should also look at it like, wow, okay, now we're going to have a lot bigger profile for our conference, which is what we need. Big 12 needs all the 5-star players they can get. So other than that, I don't think you have any other comments. So everybody have a great day. Make sure you follow me on Twitter one last time. Subscribe on YouTube. Turn on your notifications, both on YouTube and on Twitter, so you know when our shows and our news goes out. I take comments, questions offline on Twitter. Just send me a DM on at B12 Mafia, sorry. And I'm happy to engage. I'll talk to you. We can talk about whatever you want. I love disagreeing with people. So feel free to get on and tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm happy to do that too. And let's have a conversation. And then show ideas. If you guys have things you want to see or you want to do, things that we could be putting together for you, send those ideas too. React to this video, leave a comment or question, and just get involved. I have the smartest viewers on my channel. College Football Mafia channel has the smartest viewers in all of social media, smarter than the ones that watch Josh Pate, just smarter than the ones that watch really anybody else. Obviously, that's tongue in cheek. Josh Pate is like big, huge, obviously, but most informed fans. So if you're here now, get to know who you are in the comment section, leave a comment or question, and then become part of the College Football Mafia family. Yeah, this next season is going to be fantastic. The off season has been amazing. We're going to do more member videos, so becoming a member is going to be more key. There is a question whether the legal show, if it's so rare that I hook up with these people, it might only be a members only video. I would let everybody know that, okay? Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Anyway, BYU football, Shonsky says, when is the next show? I was just talking about that. The only one I can guarantee is Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Maybe we'll start at 7. Ute is not going to be with us, so we might change that start time to a little bit earlier, but watch for our notifications on Twitter and on YouTube for when the next show is at. So I'm going to guess Friday at 7 or 8 Eastern for the Big Freaking Friday show. Moen has a show on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then I do these Bombers Blitzes and other shows, consigliere shows. I need to do a Big 12 Mafia show coming up to preview the season as they sort of come up. So that's why it's important to follow me and be subscribed on YouTube so you'll know when that information comes out. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done talking. If you guys want to engage more and want to have if you want to do a show with me, even this afternoon on this topic, let me know. Shoot me a DM. I'm happy to have a one-off conversation with you, or we can even bring up another show to talk recruiting in general. Probably won't belabor Ryder Lyons anymore on YouTube unless people ask, but I'm happy to get into a Big 12 versus everybody else recruiting show. This is highly relevant to that. Yeah, anyway, I'm here for you guys. You guys just let me know what you want to do. You know that. Appreciate you, everybody. Have a great day, and we will see you soon, okay? Everybody on my team, I appreciate you. We will see you later. We're going to say peace out, okay? Maybe. Now we do.